let's talk a little bit about the finale. How did you feel about that ending?
You know, it's funny, it took on, that scene had a couple different forms. Like when we first got the white draft, it was different from what it was pretty different from what it ended up being. There were more people involved, like,
Okay.
and it ended up becoming very much Clay and Tyler, and which I think was really kind of important because I think we're supposed to know and believe that what Clay did is the wrong decision to make. They should have called the police. They should have just locked the doors inside and called the police and let everyone know what was happening. I mean, I think that we are not supposed to believe that Clay made the right decision, even though it was ultimately successful. But we're supposed to believe that that is a decision that Clay would make, because he is someone who acts on his emotions without thinking his actions through before he does them, and really tries to take everything on himself. And I think he was trying to make up for mistakes he made in the past by not being there for someone who really needs it. And that's what he's saying when you hear the narration of his speech from Hannah's memorial service that day.
Yeah.
And so Clay just feels his responsibility to go and save anyone he can. And in doing that, that could have been an extreme disaster, you know. And I mean, I don't think Clay really knew what he was getting into by walking outside. I don't think he really fully realized in that moment that he'd be facing Tyler with an assault rifle right in front of him. But, you know, he could have called the police, and someone ultimately did inside, as we know, because the police are on the way. But, you know, it's a tricky scene because me as Dylan, I'm going, this is a horrible decision. Like, what is Clay doing? But then you also have to really believe what you're doing in playing Clay in that scene. So I have to really kind of get to a place of believing what I'm doing is right too when in the scene. But I don't know. I mean, as long as people know that, like, we know that is not the right decision, you know, and nobody should ever try and go and confront anyone who's carrying a weapon. So.
How do you feel about people who are criticizing the show for almost empathizing with Tyler's character and his intent to even go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, like, no one's opinions are invalid. I think that anyone who has an opinion and is starting discussions and is debating this with someone, I think that's healthy. You know, I can't really speak on why certain decisions are made on the show the way they are. I just have to, you know, kind of be there and believe in what we're doing, and I do. I mean, I think it's a way of how you look at it, and if you're empathizing with Tyler or not. I mean, like, obviously, you're not on anyone else's side in the bathroom scene, but I think it's more about, for me, it's not really about empathizing with Tyler, but just recognizing that there are many different ways that a monster can be formed, or what can bring a monster out of someone. And to me, the way that I view this season overall is how, like, involving weapons and everything, is how dangerous it can be when kids who are so destructive and so emotionally confused can easily access weapons like this, and really weapons of mass destruction, like assault rifles. And that's at least how I view this, and I would like to see that discussed in future seasons, or at least be addressed. Because I've been saying, it's like the show is difficult because it's like it has to walk a fine line. It can't be just a PSA or shoving messages down people's throats, or else then it's just not compelling television. It's like you have to find this fine line where it's compelling TV and also discussing the topics that it does with truth. I mean, with grace, and I just think that could be addressed, and I think it will be, and that's just how I view it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
How did you feel about the bathroom scene when you first read it? I mean, it's gotten a lot of people talking.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I heard about the idea, I was like, I don't think there's any way that's gonna make it in. I would be shocked. I remember getting the script and reading it, being halfway through, and seeing that Tyler first gets his head bashed into the mirror, and then in the sink twice, and then dragged to the toilet and his head dunked in. And I was thinking to myself, oh, they totally did this because they got rid of the mop bit, because they weren't allowed to. And then it got to the mop bit as well. I remember just not being prepared for the complete lengths that scene goes to. It's really, really brutal. And I remember just being shocked and angry and confused and conflicted on whether I thought it needed to be there. But then the more I talked to Brian and talked to everyone, I understood why it was there. And I think that it was shot really tastefully. I mean, Kyle Alvarez is such a amazing director. He also did the finale of season 1, which is really tricky, and I think just the way it was shot is the best way that it could have been done. But I remember just feeling the emotions that I think we're supposed to feel when we either read or watch that scene, and that is shocked, confused, angry, sad, disturbed.